In the previous video, we saw that the infrared sensor detects obstacle with the help of the infrared radiations. Now, infrared radiation is nothing but a light which we cannot see with our eyes. So there is no actual light coming out of the emitter which we can see. Then how do we know that the sensor is working? How can we control how far the objects it can detect? Let's take a look at it in this video. Hello everyone, my name is Sai Prakash and this is the series on the robotic starter kit. Other than the emitter and the detector, there are other components on the sensor. Now, there are 3 pins at the end of the sensor. Now, these 3 pins are used to connect it to the processor with the help of connector wires. Also, there are 2 LEDs which help us in knowing whether the sensor is working or not. If the sensor is connected to the power, then one LED will be switched on. The second LED switches on when you take your hand near to the sensor, and it switches off when you take your hand away from it. Now, with the help of these LEDs, we know that the sensor is working or not when it is connected to the power. We have the potentiometer part of the sensor, which helps us to control the sensitivity of the sensor. Now, to increase the sensitivity, we have to turn this screw on the blue square in clockwise direction. To decrease the sensitivity, we have to turn the screw in anti-clockwise direction. Now, assume that there is an object which is far from the sensor. By increasing the sensitivity of the sensor, we can enable the sensor to detect that object. To recap the series, after the processor, we have seen what is an infrared sensor, how does the IR sensor work, what are the components on the IR sensor, and the functions of the components on the sensors. Now, this is not the only sensor in the kit. There is another sensor that helps us to detect light. Let's take a look at it in the next video.